Pet Sematary is a classic horror film that is guaranteed to haunt anyone that's ever seen it. For instance, the deformed sister, Zelda, is pure nightmare fuel.
Never get out of bed again! Never get out of bed again!
Now, let's have a look at 18 things you never knew about Pet Sematary. Shh, did you hear that? Stephen King based a lot of the things in Pet Sematary on his own personal experiences. For instance, his family moved into a house very similar to the one in Pet Sematary when he was teaching for a year at the University of Maine. Also during this time, his daughter, Naomi, was about Ellie Creed's age, and she also had a cat. King and his family were warned about the road, and the Pet Sematary was actually pointed out to them as a place where a lot of animals that strayed out into that road had ended up. King, much like his character Lewis Creed, got a call from his neighbor one day saying that he had a dead cat on his lawn and he thinks it may belong to King's daughter. It did. In case you didn't catch it, like a lot of films based off of his work, Stephen King makes a brief cameo as the preacher in the film. Pet Sematary was published in 1983, which was about 4 to 5 years after it had actually already been written by Stephen King. King had fallen into a deep depression while writing the book and just packed it away into a drawer. However, he offered the book up to his publisher at the time, which would conclude his contractual obligations to them. Ludlow, Maine, is a fictional town. However, geographically speaking, it corresponds with Orrington, Maine, the town King was living in while he was writing the novel. It was important to Stephen King to have Pet Sematary shot in Maine, and it was actually one of his requirements when the rights were acquired to make the film. Ellie Creed was played by twins, Beau Berdahl and Blaise Berdahl. A sequel was rumored for a long time that was said to follow the life of Ellie Creed as an adult. Executives wanted director Mary Lambert to cast twins to take on the role of Gage, but she declined, stating that she fell in love with Nico and knew he'd be the right kid for the part. Upon reading the script, Mary Lambert felt that Fred Gwynne would be perfect for the role of Judd Crandall. Speaking of Fred Gwynne, he believed that he was meant to play the role of Judd Crandall. I think fans would definitely agree with that sentiment. There were 5 to 6 cats used in the film for the role of Ellie's cat, Church. They had to use so many because cats are very difficult to work with and train. Each cat they used brought different skills to the table, so that's why they had to use so many. A light flex was used to create the glowing eye effect for Church. The director of photography would reverse the lens, which would give him the ability to adjust the lighting of the cat's eyes. Director Mary Lambert didn't consider herself a horror director, nor had she done a horror film prior to Pet Sematary. After reading the script, she was very interested in what she could do visually with the film. Mary Lambert met with Paramount in regards to directing the film, but before being selected, she first had to pass the test of meeting up with the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen King. Whenever director Mary Lambert wanted to discuss something creatively about the film, King always made himself available to her. Stephen King attended the script reading once the actors made it to Maine. While there, he'd drink a can of Jolt Cola and read from the obituaries out loud. King actually lived about 20 minutes from the filming locations, so he was on set a lot. Fred Gwynne had to have his hair dyed white for the role of Judd Crandall, as he had black hair at the time, which also grew quite fast. Oftentimes, he'd have to come on set early just to have his hair dyed. Rachel's deformed and dying sister, Zelda, was actually played by a man. Director Mary Lambert wanted the role to frighten audiences, but she didn't think that a 13-year-old girl would be able to pull off that kind of feat. Therefore, she cast Andrew Hubotzik in the role, so that way there would appear to be something off about Zelda. Pet Sematary was actually inspired in part by the short story The Monkey's Paw. King even quotes the short story in the novel. So, that's all we have for this list of things you probably didn't know about Pet Sematary. Is there any cool facts you know that we forgot to include on the list? Let us know by leaving a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hook us up with a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If not, Zelda might get you.